Amen.
Amen.
Yesterday we were looking at the line of Christ as explaining our current position in the developments that have taken place over the last few months. And we explained that the line of Christ identifies what the real issues are in this shape. But in this shaking that is taking place, as in all shakings, we have seen different arguments and different accusations being thrown around. Right, and I'd like to spend a brief period of time looking at some of these accusations and to see whether they're valid. Now, I'm going to be looking at some of the things that have been said specifically in relation to methodology. And methodology, of course, is how we study the Bible. Now, the first point relates to the relationship of methodology and prayer. Because the accusation has been put on the public record that we are telling people that you don't need to pray. If you have the correct methodology, you don't need to pray. And that's just nonsense on the face of it. It's a false accusation. But I think it's important to think what is the relationship of methodology and prayer. And how we come to a knowledge of the truth. Right? How do we come to a knowledge of the truth? As a Christian, you pray. I trust you do.
Yeah.
Right? That's basic Christian life. You pray. But is it enough to pray to come to a knowledge of the truth? Is it just enough to pray to come to knowledge of the truth?
No.
Well, if you think about it, this movement, when you think of all the people in the world, constitutes a very small, insignificant number of people. When you look at the billions of people around the world, the Adventist Church, I think, what is it, there's some over in the region of 25 million Adventists around the world. I think there are over 1 billion Catholics around the world. And millions of Protestants. And they're all praying. But they're all in darkness. Right? They pray and fast more than you do. but they don't know the truth.
And so
Right? They're in gross darkness. They're in deep darkness. Right? So we're not undermining prayer. Prayer is important. But is it sufficient to come to a knowledge of the truth? And the answer to that is no. Most of us, a lot of people have this idea that you have the Bible. And what you want to come to is the truth. You want to understand the truth. And we think you can go directly to the truth. Through the medium of prayer. And that is not how things work. Let's make a point. The truth is what saves us. We understand that. We read the Testimonies, Volume 5.
Testimonies, Volume 5.
Page 292.
Page 292.
And it says, speaking of error, it says, error is never harmless. It never sanctifies, but always brings confusion and dissension. It is always dangerous. The enemy has great power over minds that are not thoroughly fortified by prayer and established in Bible truth. The enemy has great power over minds that are not thoroughly fortified by prayer and established in Bible truth. So this passage brings out a number of things. It makes the point that error never sanctifies, it destroys. It is dangerous to the soul. It's the truth. It's the truth that sanctifies us. And it makes the point that if we're not thoroughly fortified, if we are not praying, prayer is one thing, and if we are not established in the Bible truth, if we're not praying and if we're not established in the Bible truth, the enemy will have power over us. Right, so this truth that sanctifies us, this truth that saves us, it does not exist in a vacuum. Also, it does not just exist in the air. How do people come to understand the truth? Right? It does not just come to your mind. Right? Some people that understand, especially in Africa, and I think it's even here too in Ghana. I think it's even been brought out here. Believe in the dream methodology. The dream methodology. When people come and say, I had a dream. I had a dream that these people, are leading you astray. And people get shaken by these things. Right, that's not how God is communicating saving truth to us right now. Right, the truth does not just appear. It is arrived at through methodology. We see this in the life of Christ. Christ Object Lessons, page 396.
Christ Object Lessons, page 396.
We see that Christ did not. How did Christ communicate the truth to his disciples? It was they arrived at an understanding of saving present truth through a specific methodology.
The right way.
A specific approach. I'll just read the first sentence here. Lest the disciples should lose sight of the principles of the gospel. So the disciples wouldn't lose sight of the principles of the gospel. Christ related to them a parable illustrating the manner in which he deals with his servants. So you see that Christ was communicating the principles of the gospel to his disciples. And he did so by relating parables to them. Right, so you can go on to read that to identify which parable he was talking about. Let's read FE, Fundamentals of Education, page 236.
FE, Fundamentals of Education, page 236.
It says, for his own wise purpose. The Lord veils spiritual truths in figures and symbols. It goes on to say, in parables and comparisons, he found the best method of communicating divine truth. So we see here Christ communicated divine truth through parables and comparisons. There is a means, a methodology through which truth is understood. You don't just arrive at the truth by just simply reading the Bible like a school book. In Christ's day, he used a specific methodology. And for us, it's the same thing. And the methodology that we're using, of course, is the same that Christ uses, parables. It's parable methodology. When we look at Millerite history, we see that in that time period there was also a specific methodology through which William Miller's message was understood. Right, and that is Miller's rules. If you look at the history of Christ, as well as Millerite history, what happened to those who were not willing to understand the methodology or to use the methodology? The Pharisees did not like Christ's parables because it required them to come to him to ask for the meal.
If he said, I come here, say,
and they were too proud to do that. The result of that was they failed to understand the things that were present truth to them in that time. And we know they closed their probation in darkness. And they were lost. In William Minister, if you're not willing to apply his rules and understand the Bible through his rules, you fail to understand the 2300 days and the close of probation in that time.
2300 days,
and you're left in darkness. Right, so all we're saying is that this idea that Adventists tend to have, that if we just pray, God will lead us to the truth. That's not enough. You have to understand how the Bible works. You have to understand how to study it. And that thing of how to study the Bible, that's what we call methodology. Right, so you have your Bible. There's no direct route to the truth. Without applying methodology. And maybe you could say plus bread. As we read in I think the first passage that we read, that we must be fortified by prayer and Bible truth. So what Parminder was saying, this is the point he was making, that we need to pray intelligently. Don't pray that God will open the truth to you. If you're going to pray intelligently, you would pray that God will help you understand correct methodology. That God will help you understand how to study His Word, so that you can come to a correct understanding. Right? Why people also are tempted to think this way is because it removes responsibility from you. If all it was God's revealing it to you through prayer, then you don't have a part to play in studying, in wrestling, and trying to, in doing the hard work of reading and trying to understand, and trying to understand how all these principles work, compare and contrast. Historic context, dispensations, right? All these things, rather, so that we don't have to work hard. Right, we want to avoid our part. And we want to avoid the hard work required to correctly understand the truth that saves us at this time. Right. And so it's not by prayer or dreams or any such thing. It's by correct methodology. Right, and that's the point that Pamindo was making. He was not saying don't pray. He was clarifying the relationship of prayer to correct methodology.
No, but so church me at say
right, so that's one point. Now, on the same thought, in the same area, methodology, there is a concept that has been discussed a lot recently. And I think we spoke about it a bit on Sabbath. Is this idea of dispensationalism? Because of the concepts that the Lord has opened up to us recently. This dispensationalism is an important factor, it's an important aspect of it. I remember we've explained that a lot of the time when people, when new truth is opened up that people don't want to receive, they tend to fall into a pattern that we've seen again and again. Of demanding a thus saith the Lord for the concept that they're not believing. And they bring out passages like this one. Mind, Character, Personality, Volume 1.
Mind, Character, Personality. No, mind, Character, Personality.
Volume 1, page 93.
Volume 1, page 93.
Alright, so we've left off this idea of methodology and prayer. We've spoken about this. Now I want to look at the relationship between dispensational reading and the thus saith the Lord. I just want to clarify this concept. That's what we're looking at now. Because when we read God's word, we must look at the dispensation of the passage that we're reading, or the concept that we're trying to understand. They are saying, I want to thus say the Lord. So what is the relationship between these two concepts? And when the people say the one that thus saith the Lord, they quote passages like this one. And I'll just read the first sentence. It says, the Bible, just as it reads, is to be our guide. So, then they'll say, my brother, the Bible, just as it reads, is to be our guide. You see, just as it reads. So these things that you're saying, these things are biblical. So this is the thing that we need to understand. There's what Ellen White wrote, but what does she mean? There is what is written, but what does that which is written, what does it actually mean? The Ellen White says the Bible, just as it reads, is to be our guide. Did it, when she said that, did she mean that we should read it like a school book?
So okasa no so just say nti ya say kan no tra sa say you can book go school.
Is that what she meant when she said that?
Sana na sister fight episode today bra o tres asem.
You know that's not what she meant when she said that.
You say yes I know episode today bra o tres asem.
Because when she is reading certain passages of the Bible,
if he says say ono angasa na so okay kan and say bi wo show no one.
She does not read them like a school book.
Right?
When you read Ellen White as she speaks on, say, certain prophetic portions of the Bible. For example, when you read about what's an example? Daniel 2, for example.
Daniel chapter 2.
What about Daniel 2?
When you look at it,
the example.
We treat it like a power, but we don't just say good. We need to factorize the spiritual concept.
Yeah.
And the gold represents this. This you read as gold, but this is why I don't say that gold is the actual thing, it represents thing. So for this, he has switched to find
It's a man says, Daniel chapter 2, it's no better than it's in your good. And so it's the right can or says he can call no kind of psychic. The objection the press can call it is the right no kaya or the and come send you one and I have Bible and no kind of psychic.
When you read the book Christ Object Lessons, for example,
it's all in Christ Object Lessons. Some man I love trainer.
And she's speaking about Christ's parables.
Now Casafa Christ Jesus.
She's not reading them in face value.
Yes, maybe some more kind of it's the right one kind of psychic.
She's making symbolic interpretations.
Now we didn't say
she identifies them as prophecies.
Now you say I am conscious.
The parable of the 10 virgins.
So remember what
in great controversy.
Oh, great controversy.
She doesn't just read it like a storybook.
That's about she
says it's a prophecy of Millerite history. And all those symbols she interprets the virgins of God's people. Right? The call to the virgins is the gospel preached by Miller. The call to the virgins is the gospel that was preached by Miller.
Good. The call. And Tema or Tim Fred, and my audience will not also. I said, Nay, and Casma Milan for
the shut door, she says, is October 22nd, 1844.
Inti Apuna 2 months, no, I say October 22nd, 1844.
Right, so in reading that, she's not reading it at face value, she's using, she's making application.
Inti that's a big says, the white, no kind of psychic. Nemo on Kayana, also children, I won't come to.
And she can take one passage and make a number of applications with that passage.
Now,
applications that you'd never get just by if you read just as it reads, as they are saying, as they understand just as it reads.
So kind of track,
in fact, you can study Ellen White and see she applies various tools of methodology.
She'll
identify historic context. She recognized the concept of dispensation. Right, so when you read a passage like this and people say the Bible just as it reads is to be our guide.
It is often can be seen, no, said you can get woman, and I'll say to me, boy,
And people try to say it means to read it at face value.
That's the room some say, oh, okay, can for the class.
You have to consider that's what the words say, but what does she really mean?
Also, who said, someone told you,
she can't mean to read it at face value because that's not how she approached God's word.
Sister White to me, she said, young kind of traffic, so long as I just have
right. So people will read passages like this one.
If you know my character and personality, say, we need the back.
To insist that we can't apply concepts like dispensationalism to God's word.
Now, I'm not kind of change and say, oh, you need to go find out ceremony, the idea of family, Jonathan.
I'm saying that that's a wrong idea.
You make us say,
right. So, what is dispensationalism?
In the case of dispensationalism, I just say.
God's word must be understood in the context of its dispensation.
I said to me, I said, oh, say a brave son of saying and then I go for and go foodie. Never is to say, you know, then go foodie.
Dispensationalism, I have a quote here from Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
It says, dispensationalism is a religious interpretive system for the Bible.
In the case of dispensationalism, or some church
basically saying it's a way of interpreting the Bible. It considers biblical history as divided by God into dispensations. And dispensations are defined periods or ages to which God has allotted distinctive administrative principles.
Dispensationalism said
according to dispensationalism, each age of God's plan is thus administered in a certain way.
Dispensationalism
and humanity is held responsible as a steward during that time. So if I may just summarize it. A dispensation is a period of time. It's a period of time in which God is working with his people in a certain way. But it's not a complicated concept. A dispensation is a period of time in which God is working with his people in a certain way. And we can give a few examples. The most basic example is the Old Testament. And the New Testament. We see the way in which God related to his people in both the Old and the New Testament is different.
This
we're saying the Jewish era and the Christian era. The way you came to God in the Old Testament era, what did you have to do? Right, who are God's people in this Old Testament era? There was a literal nation of people. Like in Ghana, you have all these different tribes. And God takes the Gad tribe and gives them his truth. And if you want the truth from heaven, everyone else, you all have to go to the God. It was a literal nation of people. In the New Testament, it's different. Nationality is no longer considered. It's now whether you accept the gospel, no matter what nation you're from. You become part of God's people. Right? So, you know, and we can, here you're coming to the Old Testament sanctuary. Here there's no earthly sanctuary that you're looking at. So we see within these two dispensations, God is using, God is relating to his people in different ways. You could say his principles have not changed. Because you see here, God gives truth, and this truth requires repentance and reception and repentance of those who will say. And it requires obedience to its requirements. It requires obedience to its commandments. That is the same in both dispensations. But we do also see differences. What's another example of dispensationalism? We can see it in the sanctuary system, where we have the outer court, the holy place, and the most holy place. These three phases of the sanctuary represent 3 periods of time. We could say from Sinai to the cross. That's the outer court. The cross to 1844. That's the holy place. And 1844 to the second coming. That's the most holy place. Right, so these are periods of time. And we see in each of these periods of time, God is working with his people in different ways. And he has different requirements of his people in each of these periods of time. So when we say we're to look at God's word dispensationally, we're saying this basically, that we need to consider the time in which God's word was given. Right, we can't just read a passage which was given in this time. We can't just read it as if it applies in exactly the same way in our time. If I give an example, it was here where Moses got the book of Leviticus. And what did Leviticus contain? It contained instructions for how God's people were to worship him. That they were to build the tabernacle. that they were to bring a sheep, if they sinned, they were to bring a sheep to the door.
Yes, sir.
That they were to kill that sheep with their own hand. And then give it to the priest who will cut it and burn it. The Levitical law also contained instructions for how they were to live.
And
the laws they were to live by. Right, there are things in this Levitical law that we do not apply today. Right, if someone breaks the Sabbath, we don't stone them. We don't kill them. Right? If someone is caught in adultery, we don't stone or kill them. If there's a war and our country defeats the neighboring country, we're not allowed to go to that country and take their women and keep them in our home as our slaves. These are all things the Levitical law allowed. Right? But we don't keep them today. Right? Circumcision. We don't require that all men be circumcised if they're going to be part of the church. Right? All these things are part of the Levitical law. But we understand that this Levitical law was given to govern God's people in a specific time. And it continued until the cross. Because much of what it contained were prophecies of the work that Christ was going to do. And when Christ fulfilled those prophecies, the Levitical law was no longer needed. So now we are standing here in 2019. Can we read the book of Leviticus? In 2019. As if it applies just the way it did in this time period. You can't. Why can't you? Because we're not in that dispensation. This was meant for the outer court dispensation. We're in the most holy place dispensation. So we can't read things from the outer court dispensation, from Leviticus, and just bring them to our time. In fact, there are some of the things that Leviticus says, if you did them today, you'd be sinning. But in this time, they were the right thing to do. So this isn't complicated. It's not complicated. This idea of dispensationalism. When we say we are to read God's word within the context of His dispensation. Right? We all accept this concept. Even those who have separated, they accept this concept. The challenge comes when it starts leading you places that you don't want to go.
Enti afi the man kwaya semene say afi edubedu baby a wan kasa no ne wo waya wo ni kesi wo mpe.
We're going to look at a few examples.
Well,
I'll repeat the example we gave on Sabbath. Right? We identify the line of progression, a line of restoration.
The red line of restoration said we are sharing Eden June Hono. Yes,
Where before Eden, men and women were equal.
And where Eden was, Eden Venezuela, a man,
after Eden, men ruled over women. But this was a result of sin. And we see now through the history of the gospel God is working to restore that which had been lost because of sin. And on this earth, before the close of probation, He's going to have the people alive on this earth who perfectly reflect the order that existed at the beginning. And you can trace this progressive restoration. Right? When we saw that after the fall, only men could be part of the priesthood. And only men could enter into the sign of the covenant. That's also this outer court dispensation. But then we see, as time progressed, we see a development. In the Christian era, or this holy place dispensation. We still have the male-only priesthood. But now women can enter into the sign of the covenant with baptism. Now we come to our time period here in 2019. When the messages bring out that equality is present truth. And we pointed out that 2019 the messages is showing that equality is present truth.
And in 2019,
through this very study. But we also see that externally the world also recognizes that equality is the right thing. Alright, so as we compare and contrast the beginning and the end, we have here full equality.
Full equality, just say,
so we want to compare and contrast what we saw at the beginning. After the fall, which is inequality. With what we see at the end. So we want to compare them.
Inti ya fatu tu ngehari.
Right? Inequality meant
Inti ebra na yenya pen na exercise.
that only men could enter into the sign of the covenant and only men could be the priesthood.
Na exercise mema quality mi na ko bonya pam mema so quality ya sofo.
So by contrast, equality must mean
Inti se owe o dia no beto ho a disi ya be pen so be exercise.
that both men and women can enter into the sign of the covenant.
Exercise man mema ni ntimi ni ya ko bonya pam.
And both men and women can be part of the priesthood.
Na man mema so ni ntimi e ya sofo mani.
Right? So when we look at passages written in this outer court era,
Inti se he ensem ye na ko bon kire e wo e di ho bre so a.
telling us how women are to be treated,
Ana eche kwan fa so ni e mantina.
right? Or even passages from this holy place era telling us how women are to be treated.
Ana se kunkun bia ho no. Na tro no kire kwan fa so ni mantina.
We can't just read them
Yetimi ko kan sa.
at face value.
Yan kind of trasa.
We need to consider where are we.
I was saying to me, baby, I'm just see.
If we can't, if standing here in 2019,
Say, yet me in 2019, I see.
we're in a different dispensation
Yeah, Brandon, I have some.
from these two time periods.
As me, the German.
It's the exact same thing as we see here
And you would go to 2 more to say,
with the concept of Leviticus.
you did that because no energy.
So, because they don't like where this is leading,
So among pet, baby, I didn't quality name quality no.
because they don't like where this is leading, they then say, we wanted that, say the Lord.
So among person, a man and never paid no. Almost say any.
So you see, they're not consistent. Because here they want to say dispensationalism. But then here they want to say, no, we don't accept dispensationalism. If they were consistent in rejecting dispensationalism, if they were consistent in saying they don't accept dispensationalism, then their women are not allowed to talk in church. They're not allowed to teach. There must be, people should be stoned when caught in adultery or breaking the Sabbath. You just end up in crazy places. You just end up in places where thinking people don't want to go. And there's some theologians who reject dispensationalism. And that is what they say. They say we should be doing these things. Right? So they are more consistent. When we look at the Sunday law, we understand that Ellen White is writing over 140 years ago.
Yeah, can I say, Sister White, and some more can. If you're happy, and I know Casasam.
She's writing around 140 years ago.
If you there or
we're in a different era. We're in a different dispensation. She was writing in a history of failure. We are in a different history, we're in a history of success. Right? So why are we insisting on reading what she wrote over 140 years ago?
Nti adentina yesi chinchina ensema otwe na be ohane aduane achiri no.
As if the world is exactly the same and nothing has changed.
Ni echirim ti say ase wi ase no esesa ne bre so na daso wo. Abi wi ase sai.
I think when you think about that, it doesn't really make sense.
We just over me about to say I'm 1,000.
You have to consider how would this apply, how would what she's saying apply in our time.
I say to me, if you say, send you also on no, send the single by grace will be CIA.
Because we're in a different time.
If you say any brand,
it doesn't mean you reject what she's saying.
I don't just say, oh, can you talk to me?
It's just saying you must consider the time. Right, you must consider the dispensation. Right. But Adventists, we've become so attached to this concept of the Sunday rule.
Now,
right, where a day is going to be enforced upon the whole world. But we don't want to realize that the world has changed from over 140 years ago.
140 years ago,
that the enforcement of a day upon the entire world is impossible. If you think practically it's impossible, how are you going to get the entire Muslim world to worship on Sunday? The Jewish world to worship on Sunday. Atheistic countries around the world to worship on Sunday. It's impossible, but we say somehow it's going to happen. And I mean, we all had this thought. We're just saying somehow, although we can't really see it, somehow it's going to happen. But we see, when you look at prophetic fulfillment, you start to see it's very practical. It's dealing with the things that you're seeing in your world in that day. Which is part of the reason why people miss it sometimes. Because it's not something crazy different that they haven't seen. It's things happening in the world. In the world they existed. Right, so I'm going to speak more about the Sunday rule. Right, but I think we're out of time, so we'll take a break and then we'll continue. Father in heaven, we thank you for your word. Lord, we thank you for this study that we've been able to have. Please refresh us now as we break, that we may return to put more concepts in place. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.